guys, welcome back to Calico Cow Acres. I am Mickayla and today we are going to do a kitchen video. I feel like it's been a while since we've done anything in the kitchen with you guys. This entire week was supposed to be a straight series of thunderstorms, cloudy days, rain, and as much as I wanted to be out in the garden planting things, I was like, okay, well, I need to figure out what I'm going to do this weekend. So we figured since we were about to be going into really busy season, it is busy season at this point, with garden stuff, weeding, planting, preserving, harvesting, all that, I figured why not make some freezer meals. We made a trip to our local Salvage store, which is one of our favorite places. We go on dates there all the time. I am gonna have a bunch of totals for you on how much this stuff costs from the Salvage store, Aldi, Walmart, etc., how much it would cost if we just bought all of it from Walmart or Aldi. I've already started a few things. I wanted to test out a new recipe for some homemade veggie sausages for Taylor, so Italian and breakfast sausages, and he really liked those. I'm not making more of those today, but I will in the future. And then I also just got a batch of yogurt going in the Instant Pot for the first time. We go through about 2 quarts of yogurt a week, if not more, because we each have a smoothie every day, and then Taylor sometimes takes yogurt to work for a snack with fruit in it as well. That's in the Instant Pot. I did film that real quick, so I will show you that here. That should save us about $10 a week on yogurt, which is really cool. I'm gonna be doing some actual freezer meals, and I'm gonna be making some homemade barbecue and sloppy joe starter. I got a bulk package of ground beef from the Salvage store, and we got a bunch of lentils, so I'm gonna be cooking the lentils up because that's what Taylor uses for his sloppy joes. I'm gonna be cooking the lentils up, packaging them into portions for sloppy joe nights, and then I'm also going to be packaging the ground beef up into freezer portions for sloppy joe nights. We'll see if I get to this, but we might make some more duck egg pasta. I'm going to make some muffins. I'm going to make some potato patties, which are just like the McDonald's style hash browns. Taylor calls them potato patties. I don't know why. I call them hash browns. Okay, with that being said, let's get into it. I'm going to start with getting lentils cooked. Make sure you check for stones and rinse your lentils before you just add water to them. I just rinse them, and I'm gonna bring them to a boil, then I'll cover them and turn it down to like medium low, and once the texture is good, they will be done. I don't really time it, and I'm making a bunch, so I don't know how long it's gonna take this time. All right, it doesn't look as big on camera, but this thing is massive. I think it's 10 pounds. That's my guess. I don't usually buy ground beef in bulk. I usually buy the like organic grass-fed kind in the 1-pound packages because that's what our stores have. But I am just gonna portion this into 1-pound packages. That should make 10 rounds worth of sloppy joes for me. And when I say rounds, I mean how I cook dinner is I'll cook Monday, we eat it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I cook Thursday, we eat it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then we usually do pizza night, like homemade pizzas on Sunday or leftovers or whatever. It just gives us a little wiggle room. So 10 rounds of sloppy joes equals 30 nights of dinner for me. My goal is to try and make the same amount of lentils and get those cooked and packaged up in the same sizes, so that Taylor also has the same exact amount of meals, and it just kind of makes my life easy. I can just take 1 jar of sauce, pour it in his lentils, another jar of sauce, pour it in my ground beef, and then buns, and we're good to go. Okay, now that I have that, I'm gonna wash my hands. Okay, I'm gonna go down to the basement, throw these in the freezer, lay them flat, and I'm probably not gonna bring the camera down there because there's like no light down there and you're not gonna be able to see anything anyway. All right, next we are gonna prep our teriyaki grilled veggies, and that's a lot of peppers. This meal isn't one that we're really saving a ton of money on. It's just one that I wanted to have for dinner this week, and I was like, okay, well, if I'm gonna make it one time, I might as well just make extra ones for the freezer so that we can have it 3 or 4 more times. So I think I'm gonna make 4 meals worth, and I'm gonna do 3 for the freezer. So this is basically just a bunch of veggies. I might make chicken on the side of it, and then we're also gonna have rice pilaf on the side of it, and maybe corn on the cob too, just depending on how we're feeling. If we're feeling like grilling corn on the cob too, I might honestly add even more garden veggies in it as they come in. We'll just kind of see what we're pulling in whenever we're feeling like cracking these open from the freezer. And yeah, so I'm just gonna get these all cut up. And then we have mushrooms, zucchini, a whole bunch of stuff goes into this. It's just a huge batch of veggies. Very colorful little bags of teriyaki veggies. It's basically a bunch of bell peppers, red onion, zucchini, mushrooms, and pineapple, and then I did add pineapple juice to the bottom of each too. We will just add the teriyaki sauce when we actually grill the veggies. I would marinate them ahead of time, but I don't like to start the veggies on the grill with the teriyaki sauce. I like to start them with just olive oil on the grill for a few minutes, and then I do the teriyaki sauce towards the end so it doesn't get like super burnt on them. So yeah, that's why I'm not doing teriyaki right away. I have these 3 Italian veggie sausages that need to go downstairs in the freezer. I have the veggie breakfast sausages flash freezing so that I can put those in a gallon bag and Taylor can grab however many he needs at a time from that. Next, I'm gonna pack up lentils for Taylor's sloppy joes. have more lentils that I just started on the stove. That first batch ended up being 5 packages. I just ran out of room in the pot when I was cooking them, so I'm cooking a second round now. Now I'm gonna make the ball canning recipe for Sloppy Joe starter, Sloppy Joe mix, Sloppy Joe sauce, whatever you want to call it. I'm not adding the meat to it. It's just going to be the sauce so that I can brown my ground beef whenever I'm going to make this dinner, and I could heat up the lentils and add a pint jar to each. So this recipe is supposed to make 4 pint jars worth of Sloppy Joe sauce. This is on like the ball canning website. I am going to multiply this recipe by 5 because I have all of these. They were, I think, 50 cents at our little Salvage store. We got 10 of them over the winter. I used 1 earlier this week to make homemade barbecue sauce to try the recipe that I was looking at. Turned out amazing, so I'm gonna use 4 more of those to make barbecue sauce, and then I'm gonna use the other 5 of these to make Sloppy Joe sauce. But we're gonna start with Sloppy Joe sauce. The recipe also calls for tomato paste, and we've got a bunch of it that we got for 25 cents a piece at the Salvage store. So we're gonna use the remainder of all the bell peppers we bought. The ball recipe calls for about 2 green bell peppers and 2 red bell peppers per batch, but I didn't get any extra of the reds, and I really just like the green bell peppers in Sloppy Joe mix anyway. So I'm just gonna use green, and I'm gonna wash these. You're supposed to just kind of finely dice them. Again, I like them smaller. I like them more in the sauce, not like a chunky sauce. So I am gonna put them in the food processor with onions and get them really tiny so they kind of just blend into the sauce really well. We have a ton of onions. I think we just got a dozen. They were 25 cents a piece at the Salvage store, so we just got a dozen of them. So that was $3. I am going to roughly chop them and run them through the food processor just like I did with the bell peppers, and then I'm gonna mix them together. Shaved onion probably won't be as good, but you can taste it if you want it. So in the ball recipe, you're supposed to roast the peppers and onions first. I'm not gonna do that because I don't do that when I make normal Sloppy Joe sauce. So I'm just gonna put them all in this big pot with the tomato paste, tomato sauce. If I can fit it all, we'll kind of see. This is like a 4-gallon pot. I don't know. It's big, but it's not that big. I'm gonna see how much fits and just get it like heated all the way through, add the rest of the ingredients and taste it. Make sure it tastes good before I put it in jars to can it. This is supposedly gonna make 20 pints. I could have just put these here in the first place. Guys, it's the next day. I ran out of time last night. I realized in the middle of filming that we needed to go pick up our Azure order, and we had to go like right then. So I just stopped filming where I was and we went and did that and then made dinner and ended our night. But today I'm gonna continue the meal prepping, and to start that off I Late last night, right before bed, our yogurt finished and I wanted to show you the yogurt that we got from that. So this is the first time I've ever made homemade yogurt. And I wasn't really super concerned about the consistency because we're just using them. Primarily, I'm just hoping to use it for smoothies, so I don't really care how thick it is. I'd actually rather it be thinner. It's a pretty thin consistency. We could strain it and make Greek yogurt, so it would be thicker to add like granola or just eat it as yogurt. I just added vanilla and honey when it got done last night, and I used 1 gallon of milk for that and then about a half a cup of store-bought yogurt, and we got 5 of these, which are quarts, and I didn't fill them up fully. I filled them up to like here. So 5 quarts from a gallon of milk. Interesting, but it works. And this is not strained, like I said. Okay. So like I said, it's not super thick, but I actually like that because it's a good texture for smoothies, which is what I wanted it for. If we were to eat this as just yogurt, I think I might strain it a little bit, but it keeps thickening up. It hasn't even been a full 24 hours. It should continue to thicken over this first 24 hours, so I'm gonna leave it in the fridge to do that and just kind of see where it's at that point. But I'm happy with this right now, and it tastes delicious. That's 5 quarts of yogurt for about $3. And usually the yogurt we get from the store is $5 a quart. So very, very, very pleased with that. That is a significant savings. Next up on the list is muffins. I am gonna do a quadruple batch. We're gonna do a strawberry, cherry, blueberry, and then I'm gonna do like a lemon poppy seed as well. And I'm gonna do a dozen of each. So I'm trying to get to the point of using up more of our canned fruits and things. We're pretty good about using them, but we just have a whole bunch. I washed this bowl out from yesterday. I'm just gonna mix up a big quadruple batch of the actual batter in here. And then I have to bake them 12 at a time because I only have 1 muffin tin. But that's okay. So yeah, let's just mix that stuff up. So I'm gonna do the blueberry first. I like putting cinnamon in my blueberry ones. I suppose I should probably preheat the oven. Okay, I thought I was filming and I wasn't. I just got the blueberry muffins in the oven. Hey Siri, set a timer for 20 minutes. Those are gonna bake about 20 to 25 minutes until they're nice and golden and cooked all the way through. I'm gonna whip up the next batch, which is either gonna be cherries or strawberries. I'm not gonna add cinnamon to those ones, but also it's all muffin batter and there's no blueberries left in this. I don't really mind if the batter mixes a little bit. So I'm not gonna rinse it out because why would I? I just divided the batter roughly by 4, and as long as I get close to the number, it should be plenty to fill the muffin cups. This recipe usually makes like slightly more than I need anyway, so I'm not worried about not having enough in each little batch. So I'm gonna do the exact same thing with cherries and strawberries. I think for the last 3, I'm gonna add vanilla to the batter. The strawberry is mixed up, but I have to wait until the blueberry ones are done so I can put them in there and do the rest of it. So while that happens, I'm just gonna work on dishes because it gets messy in here very quickly. On a regular basis, let alone when I'm meal prepping things. I wish you guys could smell in here right now. It smells so good. All right, those ones are done. Let's get back to that chaos and do the strawberries. the muffins are all done, -1 because I ate it. They all look delicious. I'm just letting them cool fully, and then I'll put them in gallon bags labeled with what kinds they are. And then Taylor can just pull them out 1 or 2 at a time whenever he wants them. I just got the stand mixer out because I don't feel like kneading right now, but I am gonna make more duck egg pasta dough and just freeze that in like dough rounds. To do the sloppy joe sauce from yesterday because Taylor's been out doing things and I needed him to taste test it and make sure that it tasted right to him, just as like mental backup. Things taste good to me sometimes, or I'm like not quite sure, and I'm like, okay, I just need him to taste it too to make sure that I am on point with the recipe and making sure that like it's good before I go and can 20 jars worth of it. So there are a few things that I've been holding off on, leaving for the end of this project so that he can taste test them for me. Barbecue sauce, because I made a really good version that's like Sweet Baby Ray's style, and he wanted me to do that and an alternative, so like Stubbs version, which is like smokier and a little less sweet. I got a bunch of jars. I realized that somehow, even though we've used a billion pint jars over this winter and spring, I can't find any more, and I don't know what happened to them. So looks like we are going to be buying more jars this year, but that's okay because projects like this where I'm saving a bunch of money because we are shopping at the Salvage store is how I fund my jar fund. That's how I am able to just buy whatever jars we need. I will say I did go a little bit rogue with the ball recipe. I added some other like seasonings and stuff. I added Dijon, brown sugar, which I make myself, so I actually ended up running out of brown sugar. I used molasses and regular sugar, some Worcestershire sauce, chili powder, some other seasonings, garlic, onion powder, and it tastes like manwich. So as much as I would love to share the recipe with you, I kind of just dumped it all in there, and I'll try it and maybe write down the actual ingredients, but you're just gonna have to do them to taste if you want to kind of try and make your own version of this. Oh, celery seed, that was in there too. All right, let's get to putting these in jars. Start putting the seasonings in here so I can blend this up too. Then we'll mix them together in the stock pot. I'm gonna not do the maple syrup right now. It should be a cup of maple syrup too, but since I'm trying to make this one a little less sweet, I'm gonna not do the maple syrup right now and then adjust it later if I need to. The recipe is supposed to be 2 teaspoons per batch, so I'm gonna do 4 teaspoons plus a little extra since I'm trying to make this one more smoky. So I'm just gonna do 3 tablespoons for this double batch. See how that turns out, and we can add more later if we need to. Okay, and then everything else needs to get added after this gets heated up on the stove. Okay, I'm gonna turn this on like medium, just over medium. Use a whisk. Can you see this? Kind of. Just gonna whisk this all together. Soy sauce or coconut aminos mixed with a starch to thicken this. And if you're not comfortable with that, you can thicken it some other way that is approved. I think there's like different gelling things for jams and jellies, and I'm just following this recipe for this part, and that's an up to you thing. It's a half cup of coconut aminos and 6 tablespoons of starch to thicken it, and I'm just gonna pour it in here. After this gets heated up, pour it in here, and then we're gonna whisk it until it thickens. The lighting in here isn't the greatest, so I apologize, but this is what we've got to work with. It's kind of darkening itself already, even before I put the soy sauce coconut aminos in. I'm just gonna whisk and whisk and whisk until it's as thick as I want it to be. Okay, barbecue sauce is just about thickened. I have the onions going for the next batch, which is gonna be honey barbecue, like Sweet Baby Ray's style. This is gonna be the one that I already tried out. I have 3 pints of it in the fridge. So that'll be next. It's getting late, so I'm probably not gonna be able to do the potato patty project, because I think we're gonna have to run to the store and get jars so I can can up our barbecue sauce and can our Sloppy Joe sauce and make dinner. So I don't know if that's gonna be in this video. If it is, I'll do it tomorrow night, and it's fine. Get as much done as we can tonight, and I'm so close to being done. Everything's been successful so far, and it all tastes very yummy. Stubbs barbecue sauce is usually a little thinner than something like Sweet Baby Ray's anyway. I had Taylor come in and taste the barbecue sauce, and we did end up adding another splash of this. My goal was another teaspoon, but I just splashed it in there. So roughly overall for this double batch, it was about 7 teaspoons worth, and it's perfect. It is so spot on to what Stubbs tastes like. Makes me feel good. You want to taste this, babe?
Tasty barbecue sauce.
The honey barbecue, or like the Sweet Baby Ray's style. It's really hot. So I think that it might need like another little pinch of the cayenne to give it some sort of spice, but we're out. So when we get jars, we can grab some.
I think it's really good.
It smells like just absolute barbecue in here, and
Yeah.
It smells really good. Yet again, I did not get this video done on the day that I was planning to get it done. It is later in the week, and I just finished editing the video. I wanted to add on all of the cost savings and what it would have cost me to buy all this stuff just from the store and not using the Salvage store, because in my opinion, that's the most interesting part of this entire video. I love watching meal prep and cooking videos and grocery hauls, but I really want to know the cost of things. I tried to pop throughout the video what I was making when. I am going to link as many of the recipes and stuff I was following below in the description. I do not have the capacity at this point in time to write up all of my specific recipes for you guys. I do tweak pretty much every recipe that I use, so it's not going to be exactly what I do, but they're going to be the recipes that I base my stuff off of. I really hope to get to a point where I have the capacity to actually walk you through full recipes and videos and write them down for you and have them available so that you can know exactly what I do, but that is not my reality right now, so I apologize for that. But you're going to get as close as I possibly can get you to that, and that is just linking the recipes that I base my recipes off of below. I'm gonna try and go in order through what I made in the video. So first I made yogurt, and I kind of mentioned that the store-bought yogurt we get is about $5 for a quart, and we usually buy 2 or more quarts a week. The yogurt we buy is $4.46 per quart at Walmart. Walmart and Aldi are pretty much where we shop, because that's what we have access to, and that's what the most affordable places around here are. The yogurt recipe I made gave me about 5 quarts worth of yogurt, and so if I had bought that much at the store, it would cost I'm looking at my phone because I have to do calculations. It would have cost me $22.30. To make this yogurt, it cost me $2.97 in milk and a portion of store-bought yogurt. The total for that per quart is 59 cents per quart. The next one is kind of all rolled into one, and that is Sloppy Joe nights. We did lentils, ground beef, and Sloppy Joe sauce. So that's kind of 3 separate recipes I made in this video, but they all go together into one meal. So overall, I made 10 meals worth of lentils, ground beef, and sauce. And when I say meals, one meal is 3 nights worth, so this is 30 nights worth of Sloppy Joes. One meal of manwich costs $2.68 for us. Ground beef is $6.28. Lentils, $1.88. Buns would be about $6. And so total, that costs about $16.80. So for 3 nights, that's about $16.80. And that is about $5.60 per night. That does not include any like side veggies or other stuff to go with it. The Sloppy Joe sauce that I made cost 69 cents per pint, so that is $1.38 total per meal. The ground beef was $3.50 per meal. Lentils 58 cents per meal. Buns $1.88 per meal. That's me making the buns. I didn't actually prep those, just guesstimating for you. For 3 nights, that's $7.33, and that is about $2.44 per night. Again, that doesn't include veggies or sides, but a lot of the times we'll just pick something out of the garden if we have like cucumbers or beans or whatever available. The teriyaki vegetables I mentioned earlier, that's not something that we really were saving money on. It's just something I bought in bulk, but I still added up the cost so you have an idea of how much it cost us. That is $7.09 for 3 nights worth, and I didn't do the math per night for that, but it's about $2 a night. The muffins are not something that I calculated costs for because that is something I already have everything in my pantry for, so I did not have to buy anything. Obviously at some point I bought something to make them, but those costs are already gone in my brain, so like girl math, they're free. It's fruit that I canned last year, flour, butter, sugar, things that I always have on hand in the pantry. Kind of the same thing with the pasta, we just use eggs and flour, so I also did not calculate that, but I will say I looked it up, and a 9-ounce package of fresh fettuccine pasta at Walmart is $2.47. So I know that did not cost me nearly as much as $2.47 for 9 ounces. I didn't get to make potato patties in this video. I ran out of time. That's still on my agenda at some point soon. I have the potatoes for it. We got them from the Salvage store. It cost us $3.98 for the potatoes from the Salvage store. A 10-pack of potato patties, hash browns at the store, is $3.42, so 34 cents a hash brown. And the recipe that I am going to use probably won't even use all of the potatoes, but just assuming it does, it should make at least 60. And if I were to buy 60 of those at the store, it would be over $20. The barbecue sauce is something I was the most curious about because usually I just buy Sweet Baby Ray's or like the Aldi brand of Sweet Baby Ray's because I just like to save money. And I know it's not the healthiest, and I wanted to make a healthier version of it at home, so I was not really as concerned about the price in this circumstance. 15.5 pints of barbecue sauce between the Sweet Baby Ray's style and the Stubbs style. Taylor named them Sweet Baby Tays and Bubby Q because we call one of our kitties Bubby. So Sweet Baby Tays and Bubby Q. There's so many different sizes of barbecue sauce at the store, so I did it per ounce. From the store, it costs 12.7 cents per ounce to get like the cheapest barbecue sauce, Sweet Baby Ray's style, whatever you can. And our sauce cost us about 9 cents per ounce. So it has way better ingredients in it, and it's so easy to make. I could definitely make it again. It cost us 9 cents per ounce. So even though I was not sure I was going to save money on this version, I did. It still saved money, which is really cool. It's a marginal amount, but it's still nice to see. That is all for this video. Like I said, I will have all of the recipes that I loosely base my recipes off of linked below in the description. Please check those out. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. I hope to do more of these kinds of videos in the future. hopefully walking you through full recipes, not just kind of showing you what I'm doing. And we'll get there. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.